What do you expect to team medicine for the future after experiencing the COPS?
I strongly believe that the COPS model is the strongest model we have for physical therapy. And I say I would hope that to be written into the IOC bidding process, that any city in the future that wants to do a games will have to provide the COPS service. And then locally, if they're in a country that couldn't provide that, that then expertise could be brought in from overseas in order to supply that model.
Unfortunately, Tokyo is probably giving up the COPS model, though it has succeeded in the London and Rio Games very well. What do you say about this?
I think it's very disappointing, and it's a great shame. The COPS model has shown to be very successful, both in treatment outcomes and in care of the athletes, and the athletes really, really like it. I was asked back in January, before Corona kicked off, I did a week at the Youth Winter Olympics in Lucerne in Switzerland. And again, the COPS model was what was being used there very, very successfully. So I understand the local historic difficulties there's been in Tokyo with understanding what osteopathy does and the level of training that we have. I think if we maybe had another couple of years to try and make them aware of what we were capable of and what you were capable of, that we would have had a shot. But we didn't have, we were working against a lot of historical lack of awareness. But I would still hope, and I know one of my main goals is the next two Olympics, so Paris and Los Angeles has already been given the games for the next two. After that, the IOC is talking that they're going to write in to the provision, whoever bids for the games, that they have to provide the COPS model for physical therapy. And if that happens, then I can retire a happy man. I would feel I've done my bit.
Historical lack of awareness. How can I?
Okay. My understanding is that osteopathy has always been more outside of the healthcare setting in Japan than it was in Europe, for example. So I think safer and more comfortable for TOCOG to go with what they had a good understanding and historical knowledge of.
Yes, can I ask you for any comment for the Tokyo 2020 and Oscar Japan, if there's any?
Yeah, so for the organisers, just good luck. It's been appalling luck, the fact they've been trying to do the games at the time of coronavirus. From what I've read, they're making sensible plans to try and have something happen next summer. From what I've read in Britain, that the talk is they will keep people in training camps for longer and just get them down into the village maybe a day or so before competition. Then as soon as competition finishes, they'll get them back out and back into their national training camps, so as to limit mingling between different countries, etc., to try and limit spread of the disease. That makes perfect sense. It also means you need a central medical team even less. Does that make sense? Because they're not going to be in the village to be looked after. So again, the COPS model becomes less useful when the athletes aren't going to be in the village for weeks on end. But it looked like it was going to be one of the greatest games ever. But it's just heartbreaking that it didn't happen when it should have last summer. Oscar, Japan Oscar. Again, I was very fortunate in that Oscar UK has been going for 25 years. there's an argument we've almost achieved all of our goals. Oscar, Japan need to do is think about what goals they have and just set about. I know the Tokyo Olympics was the big initial target, rightly so. But now I think they need to look at more smaller, achievable. How do we get people onto doing that master's course, or how do we get people into working with those teams, etc. To almost try and look a bit smaller and try and work in that way. But it's taken us 25 years to get there. This isn't going to happen overnight. Can I just say,
yes.
Having been out to teach twice, there's real talent in the local Japanese osteopaths who I taught. And if we can get them, even just one or two, trying to work in whatever sports they're interested in, be it golf or football, rugby, I'm not bothered what sport, but you need to start getting those women and men out there trying to push osteopathy forward just on their own path, and then working together as a unit as well.
Okay. Well, this is only my situation, but I've been working in one little football team for 2 years. So I make
perfect.
Yeah, actually, this year, they actually paid me to treat the athletes, the footballer. So that's fantastic. I mean, it's a small money, but
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
No. But it doesn't. I don't care if it's 50p. It doesn't matter. That's really well done.
Yeah, that's good. It's 50p.
It's good. No, just good to see you both. And please send my best wishes to everybody who I met in Tokyo. I think of them often.